started.
J.C. Alderwood. Okay, E4. D5, the center counter. Hey, I haven't played one of those in a while. And he takes with the queen. That's the main line, although I play the line with knight f6 myself. Knight f6 first, so I can recapture with the knight. But taking with the queen is very respectable. I think it's the main line, actually, taking with the queen. So now, what do I do? If he takes the knight, I am in danger of losing the d-pawn. So I need to defend it. Oh, yeah, I could defend it with the bishop. I could also defend it with c3, but I was thinking it'd be good to play c4 at some time. Maybe I could have played c4 right there. c4, queen takes, right? Yeah. So this allows him to double my pawns. But he had to give up a bishop to do it, so I have the bishop pair. And I can still castle if I need to. And I have more space in the center. I just have these ugly pawns over here, so we'll see. If those pawns are enough to make it worthwhile for black to give up the bishop pair. It's a theoretical question. If he checks me, I think I will just move my king to d1. But he didn't do that. Maybe I will stop the check. I would like to keep the knight, have the knight as well as two bishops, and have the option of castling queenside, since I have these holes on the king side. And let's just put a rook on the g file. This is hitting a loose pawn here now that he moved his bishop. And he's got to decide if he wants to castle into it or if he wants to do something like that. So now I can play bishop h6, which would prevent castling. But he's probably going to castle queenside anyway, so I don't know that bishop h6 is all that useful. And we'll see where he goes. Yeah, queenside. So maybe I should push forward these kingside pawns, try and create some weaknesses. I have to make sure I don't have any loose pawns over here on the king side. And are there tactics? I could think about moves like d5, which is hitting the a pawn, but he can sort of trap the bishop with b6, even if I were to take the a pawn. Or maybe, in spite of what I said about the knight, maybe knight here is a good idea. If he takes, it undoubles my pawns, and then I just have the bishop pair advantage in a straightforward form without any corresponding disadvantage. If he doesn't take, maybe I can play c5 and knight to d6 is interesting, but I need a little more force to be able to play that. Let's see, he can play knight to h5 there maybe, so maybe that wasn't so great. Although, okay, so knight h5, bishop d6, bishop takes, knight takes, check, king moves, and I grab the f-pawn, forking his two rooks. So I think tactically it works anyway. So even without him having forced me to play my bishop here, maybe it's a good move. Bishop d6. His bishop is loose there, but he could defend it. Okay, so the exchange is not forced. But if he exchanges, then it's check and pick up the exchange. So if he doesn't exchange, he defends with a rook. And is that an improvement? Hard to say. Okay, let's continue on with plan A, which was to play c5 and knight to d6. Yeah, c5 gave him a good square for his gave him a good square for his knight. So if the king moves, I have a tremendous discovered check here, so he's probably got to take. Yeah, the discovered check wins the exchange if his king moves. And then this annoying bishop is going to be a thorn in his side for a long time. And this pawn is loose. So maybe bishop out and rook to here. This pawn is loose too. Actually, he's got to defend that, which he does. Yeah, it seems like he's getting tied up here, but well, he's got one good square for his knight. His knight could go to that square. Oh, but it's defended by my bishop. Okay, he's getting his knights back into better positions. That pawn is loose, but it's not under attack. His knights can hop into these squares. Ah, his king goes there. Interesting. So if I place my rook here, I don't think he can immediately attack it. You know what he can do, though? He can go after my bishop. But I'm going to double my rooks and go after the pawn. But maybe knight e8 here, hitting my bishop, is maybe a good answer. Knight there, rook here. Oh, we just played that move. So en passant, if I take en passant, he can take the bishop. And then I can push the pawn, but I'm not coining, so probably that's not good. So where do I want this bishop to be? Probably here. If he keeps pushing, I'll drop back to c2. Still want to double rooks on the e file. Yeah, so he's moved his rook there in advance of needing to, but he left his g pawn undefended. I think that was a mistake. Yeah, it's tricky in these tied up positions. His knights were not doing badly. The board was not open. The bishops become stronger as the board opens up, but he kept it kind of closed off here, so he was doing okay. But now I should be okay. Can he come in? He can come into this square. And I can pick up another pawn. And I will. So let's see. Now I need to activate this rook, right? Okay, well first I have to consider where this knight is going. This knight can come here, check, picking up the rook. So I probably don't want to allow that. And so let's go there. I'm going to retreat this rook anyway, but the square I wanted to retreat it to is also a problem. Let's see, yeah, it's a problem. I don't have a lot of squares to retreat it to. I goes for the knight. I was thinking he would take with a pawn and then play play b3 there to distract my bishop away from defense of this square. So I will move my king here. So if he attacks my knight, it's at least not with check. If he attacks my rook, it's not with check. And then my plan is to drop my rook back, maybe trade off his knight. Maybe I can do that with tempo in some way. Okay, he chose to trade. Trade should favor me. I should also think about this check, shouldn't I? That forces the king back. But I don't see anything else that it does. So let's drop this rook back. So he can attack the rook from this square or this square. And my bishop is hitting his knight. Okay, so he moves his knight to a good square. Maybe invading with the rook is the right idea. If I come over here, I could check and then double on the 7th. Actually, the check before would have been good.
Check.
Now that I think about it, the check that I had before would have forced his king to c8, and then I could have played rook c7 check. Okay, maybe this opportunity will arise again. Right here, for example, I can play the check, and he can attack stuff. So let's do the check.
Check. Black resigns.
Yeah, this was going to be pretty devastating. I can take stuff here with check. I will take the pawn with check and then come back and double on the 7th. So I think I have a win from this point. Anyway, I will upload this and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.